What up, people? It's Nickopz here, and today I wanted to talk about something I feel like that is really important for the future of NRS titles. What does the next NRS title need to be very successful? That's what I want to talk about because the reality is always if NRS drops a new Mortal Kombat specifically, it's going to sell decent because it's Mortal Kombat. And as for other titles, it could always be random, but again, very successful. I want to talk about what the next game needs to be very successful. As far as next game, you could count this towards anything that they do, but I'm more talking about Mortal Kombat. Now, if you watch my last video, like I said, I feel like NRS has lost the trust of the community a lot, and they need to do something to the point if they want their games to be very successful. Again, it's always going to be successful, but very successful is different. With that being said, let's start off. I'm going to go in order. And none of these things are least important to most important. It's just the order I want to address everything. And what I'm going to be talking about is the importance of all of these things and do they need these things to make the game very good and what they need to do to not give us another half-baked product. So let's start off with the first thing that a lot of people seem to care about a lot in the beginning, but I personally don't. But just because I don't personally care about it doesn't mean it should be something I don't address. And that's the story mode. The story mode, I feel like, I know a lot of people care about it, but they've just reset the timeline so much in Mortal Kombat. I feel like nothing has any impact. Sub-Zero dies, he could come back in a new timeline or as a different version, or if Devore kills somebody in MK2 or MK12, they could just get revived in the next game timeline wise. Like what I've realized about a lot of, and this could be a whole nother video topic, honestly, is a lot of fighting game stories don't have any impact, and that's why I don't find them interesting. Nothing is final. There can always be a returning character, and a big decision can always be altered. Nothing is final. Just like how, characters come back in Street Fighter, even though they get literally blown up. Hayachi could get thrown off of a volcano or whatever in Tekken, and they all just keep coming back. And don't get me started on how many times people come back in Mortal Kombat. So I feel like story wise, doesn't really matter if they do good on the story or not. It just needs to be interesting. They need to revolve it around a character that is interesting. A big part of why I feel like Chaos Reigns didn't do so well is because as much as people wanted to act like they loved Havoc, Havoc isn't really an interesting villain. Simple as that. As long as they base it on, they can go back to Shao Kahn, or they could do it around just anybody interesting, and it will be fine. Just make sure that the story mode has a character someone cares about, and they'll be fine from there. But to base your DLC and everything around, the people that didn't really get cared about, I just don't think that that was a good idea. So let's get that one out of the way. Story, I don't feel like much needs to be changed story wise. You know what you're getting if you play a Mortal Kombat story. You're gonna get 4 or 5 hours worth of, movie time, and you're gonna beat up on some easy NPCs, and it's gonna be over, and you're never gonna touch it again. So story, they can do what they want for the story. Now, as far as the thing where I keep saying half baked product, MK11 and MK1 were both half baked products. They were missing a lot of key things, in my opinion, that a lot of other modern games around both of the times had that they just didn't. First things first, the customization. The customization in MK11 and MK1 were both a joke, which is ridiculous to me because Injustice 2 has some of the best customization in any fighting game ever. So the fact that they have the blueprint for what the heck to do and didn't do it in two other games after was just lazy. So they need to work on that customization. As far as the online experience, they need to work on that as well. There's no reason in the big 2025 that we should not be able to practice while we are searching for a match. That is ridiculous. Now, on top of that, to also take rooms out of the game while not being able to just practice while you wait for a match is ridiculous. They need more ease of use things, in my opinion. No more. That's gonna be the theme of this video. No more half-baked products. No more at all. On top of that, as far as making the online experience better, they need to do something to where it's easier to connect with other players while you're playing. If you play, if you finish a match in Street Fighter or Tekken, when you finish, you could look at what, the player stats. You could see how good they did. You could look at it compared to leaderboards. You can do a multitude of things. In NRS, you could click friendly rematch or leave, which is just lazy. They need to have an option. Hey, you can add the player right away. You can look at some stats, just something interesting. The problem with NRS titles is they don't give you enough to do base to keep you interested or just something to even pass time. They don't have anything. Like just the fact that you could look at player stats and leaderboard things in the other two of the big three is just a cool thing to pass time that you can't really do in NRS titles. They need to add more bulk to their product. It's just half baked. Everything is half baked. Again, with the online experience, I do like the steps that they have taken as far as the replay feature. That they kind of took inspiration from Tekken to where you could go in and change stuff. I really like that they did that, so they should definitely keep that for the next title. It's a shame that I have to say that, but I genuinely don't know if they're going to keep a good feature that they added. Like, that's insane that I have to say that, but they should definitely keep that replay feature. I think it's very good. I think it's a thing where players who are actually not lazy can go in and learn and laugh instead of just complaining on Twitter like a lot of people do. So, we covered so far the story mode experience. Don't really gotta do much there. The online experience, it just needs to be more complete with the whole practice room thing. Add some stats in the game. Give some people some stuff to look at. Let it be easier to add people and connect with the community instead of, just having friendly rematch there. It's not enough. On top of that, let's talk about now the base game experience, because I do feel like invasions were probably the worst thing I've ever seen added to a video game in the history of video games. Invasions are terrible. Invasions are so bad. Like, I'm a D1 invasions hater. Like, I'm saying evasions now. Invasions suck. They suck. It's so bad. Big downgrade from the crypt. Because here's the thing about the crypt. Because if you don't know what the crypt is, it was something that they used before they replaced it with invasions. It was something where you would walk around, collect items, and do like little puzzles. And it would only take like a day to knock it out, but it was actually decently fun to do. And it was a little interesting. It still wasn't amazing. But Invasions is just lazy. It's so lazy and bad. I never want to see Invasions in a game again. Ever. That crap sucks so freaking much. Like I said, D1 Invasion hater. It's so bad and lazy. They need to add something to the game now. This could be in unison with the story mode or without it. They need to give consistent content. The big thing about gaming in this time period is people like things that they can live on. Simple as that. That's why, mobile games do so well, and open world games and games like online games that just keep giving you different experiences. That's what fighting games are supposed to be. But sometimes people don't always just want to fight people all the time. You know, shocker, right? You know, that's what I like to do. Personally, when I get on a fighting game, I just want to fight people, but I understand that that's not what everyone wants to do all the time. They want to just be able to get on the game, chill, grind for something. NRS needs to give the casual players that just don't want to play online all day something to grind for, something to do, a mode. In comparison, I always like to make the comparison. Street Fighter 6 story mode. It's just great. Really is. You can, it's a whole story mode where you can grind up your character and you can take that character to online battles. I really feel like NRS needs something like that. Now, it was brought to my attention that they did have something along those lines in like Armageddon. If they, so, because I don't really remember that game that much, bring it back. They need some type of content where for the grinders. It was the towers before, but it's not enough anymore. They need something to compete with their peers. So I know it sounds like a lot, but this is what they need. They've been making half-baked products for years, and it's now time for them to come with a juggernaut game to get the trust of the community back. Consistent content, we need consistent content. We need a modern online experience and a story revolved around some interesting things instead of characters that people really don't care about. And that, I feel like if they make, what's a good way I can put it? I feel like if they actually cared, actually put in some effort to the next NRS title, we will be in a very good spot to where they can regain the trust of the community and the games can start being good again. With that being said, doesn't mean I think Mortal Kombat 1 was a bad game. I actually think gameplay wise, it was a very good game, but it was still a half-baked product overall compared to its peers. So yeah, those are some of the things I think if y'all would like me to do a part 2 to this video, I would be more than happy to, because I have much more ideas which they could add personally. And I would just have to make sure it's something that people want to hear. I listed like 3 things that if they go about it in the right way would help the game out a lot. So if y'all want me to keep going, just let me know if y'all would like a part 2 in the comments below. Depends on how well this video does. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And join the Discord. And Nickopz out.